Welcome back to another episode of Disneyland Hotel Diaries. Today, we are diving deep into a hotel that honestly promises a lot for families heading to Disneyland, the Sonesta ES Suites. Now, it's an official good neighbor hotel, but we have to ask, does it actually live up to the hype? We've gone through hundreds of reviews to get you the real story.
So you look at pictures like this, and on paper, this place really seems like the perfect home base for a Disney trip, right? But we all know that what's advertised isn't always what you get. So the big question we're asking today is this hotel a dream come true for your family, or is it a bit of a vacation gamble? Let's dig in and find out.
So what's the big promise here? Well, it's all about that apartment-style living. We're talking really spacious suites, multiple rooms, and this is the big one, a full kitchen. I mean, for any family, having that extra space and the option to cook your own meals, that can be an absolute game changer for your budget and your sanity.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the promise, what the numbers are saying. Then, we'll talk about getting to the park, which is huge. We'll take a peek inside the rooms, weigh all the perks against the quirks, and then, of course, we'll wrap it up with the final verdict.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the promise. We're going to look at the numbers here and see what's actually being advertised. The numbers here tell a pretty interesting story. We're talking about almost 1,000 reviews, and the hotel scores a solid 4.1 out of 5 overall. Not bad. And get this, the service rating is a 4.3. That's high. It really suggests guests are having some great interactions with the staff. But do these numbers really paint the whole picture? Let's find out.
Okay, let's move on to what might be one of the most critical factors for any Disneyland vacation: how you get from your hotel room to the front gates of the park. Seriously, this can make or break your rope drop morning.
And this is where we see a major disconnect. The hotel lists shuttle bus service as one of its amenities, right? So you're probably thinking, great, a dedicated hotel shuttle. But the reality? Nope. It's the public Anaheim Resort Transit System, the ART bus. And what we heard from so many guests is that this can mean long waits, totally packed buses, and you guessed it, just giving up and paying for an Uber anyway.
And wow, this quote from a guest named Jeffrey L. just sums up the frustration perfectly. I mean, can you imagine waiting 40 minutes only to watch the bus fill up right before you can get on? He says they would have been better off just driving themselves. That is a huge piece of information you need to have before you even think about booking.
Okay, so transportation is a bit of a mixed bag. Let's head inside the hotel itself and take a look at what is arguably its biggest selling point, those spacious family suites.
And this is why people book this hotel. The appeal is right here. These suites, especially the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom layouts, they offer a ton of space. Having a completely separate living area like this, it's an absolute game changer. It gives everyone their own zone to just decompress after a super long day at the parks. And really, the kitchen is the star of the show here. We're not just talking about a mini fridge and a coffee maker. No. This is a fully equipped kitchen with a full-sized refrigerator, a microwave, a dishwasher, even a stovetop. It means you can cook actual meals, store all your leftovers, and prep snacks for the park. That can save a family a ton of money.
Hey, just a super quick pause. If you're finding this breakdown useful for your Disney planning, do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really helps us keep making these deep dives for you. Okay, thanks.
All right, let's get into what I think is the most important section. Every hotel has its good and its not so good. So let's dive into the perks versus the quirks to see where the Sonesta really shines and, where it kind of stumbles.
So let's start with the biggest perk. And honestly, this one comes up again and again and again in the reviews: the staff. Remember that 4.3 service rating? It's no joke. Guests are constantly shouting out specific employees by name: Sonia, Julio, Jenny, Jody, Pam, people who went way above and beyond for them. In a hotel that might have some other issues, having an amazing staff, that is a huge plus.
Okay, now let's pivot to the quirks. You see this picture, right? A beautiful, sparkling pool on a sunny day. It looks absolutely perfect. But then you read a recent guest review that just says the pool was, and I quote, green. And that right there, that perfectly captures the conflict, the gamble at this hotel. And it's not just the pool. A pretty clear pattern of maintenance and cleanliness issues starts to show up when you read the reviews. People talk about worn-out, dated furniture, musty or even urine smells in the rooms and hallways, plumbing problems like broken toilets and loud banging pipes waking them up. You add to that a lack of daily housekeeping and some ongoing construction noise, and that home away from home vibe starts to fade pretty fast.
Okay, so we have to talk about the elephant in the room. This is the most serious allegation that came up in several recent reviews. It's definitely a sensitive topic, but it's something any potential guest absolutely needs to be aware of. So let's just look at the facts as they've been presented by both sides.
So here's what we know. On one side, you have multiple guests who reported waking up with bites and finding what they believed was evidence of bed bugs in their rooms. They also felt that management was kind of dismissive. On the other side, the hotel's official response is that they take every single claim very seriously. They say they immediately hire a licensed pest control company to come in and inspect the room, and that so far, these professional reports have consistently come back negative for any pest activity. So again, we're not taking a side here, but it's crucial for you to have both pieces of that puzzle.
And another little quirk that seems to catch a lot of guests by surprise is the parking fee. It looks like it's a mandatory $35 per night. It's just one of those extra costs that can really add up, so you absolutely have to factor that into your total budget.
All right, let's pull all of this together for the final verdict. We've looked at the big promises, the shaky transportation situation, those awesome, spacious suites, and some pretty serious concerns. So, is this hotel right for your family?
You know, at the end of the day, it really comes down to what your family's priorities are. So here's the bottom line. Book it if you're a large family, you absolutely need that full kitchen, and you value space way more than you value modern style. But avoid it if cleanliness issues are a total deal breaker for you, or if you need seamless, reliable, stress-free transportation to and from the park every day.
Now, if you do decide that this is the right trade-off for your family, we've got a few pro tips to help make your stay a little smoother. First, when you check in, ask for a fireworks view room. Some guests say they're great. Second, budget for Uber or Lyft. Don't even think about relying solely on that ART bus. Also, double-check if breakfast is included with your specific booking, because for some, it isn't. And finally, since there's no daily housekeeping, just be prepared to call the front desk when you need fresh towels or supplies.
And really, that's the core question, isn't it? Is saving some money and getting all that amazing space and a full kitchen worth the gamble on cleanliness and convenience? The Sonesta ES Suites offers a fantastic setup for large families, but it comes with some serious potential downsides. So the final question we'll leave you with is this. For your family's trip, is that trade-off worth it?